Hey everyone, thanks for watching. I got a pretty exciting video for you today because I see a lot of posts on Facebook and Bigger Pockets and these other channels saying investor looking for realtor friendly to investors or something like that. And I'm like, you know what? I know a guy in Fresno who operates with all the investors, is sort of the go-to guy for all the flippers out there, Chris Cissel, and he was nice enough to join me. So Chris, thank you for joining.
Hey, Michael, thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Why don't you say a little bit about yourself, how long you've been in Fresno, agent, all that stuff before we get into the hard questions.
All right. I was born and raised in Fresno. Just left for just a short stint while I was in the military. Came right back. Fresno boy, can't go anywhere else. Been in real estate for come March will be about 17 years. Wow. So I've been here through all the real estate ups and downs in Fresno.
Wow, there's something we're going to unpack there in a minute because I started investing in Fresno about 16 years ago, so 2003. And both of us went through the seller's market of kind of, I guess you went from 01 to kind of 8. You went through the crash and now you've seen another seller's market. So we've both seen the ups and downs. So I'll make sure to add those questions to the end. But as we get started, when I look at all the people who I know in flipping in Fresno, a large majority of them turn to you to list properties. And I thought I would just throw a softball out there and say, well, why do you think that is?
You know what? Luck, I guess.
No, come on.
It's a people business, and it's a people business first and foremost. The house is more or less just a commodity that we have in common. I think it's knowing your clients and taking just good care of them, and they'll remember you when in turn.
Well, I think what you take as sort of just nonchalant is the nut or the nugget, and that real estate is a people business, both for investors, and I call it all the time. I think it's the most people friendly business we have. But it's nice to hear an agent who is when you think as an outsider, oh, they're just commission hungry and all that nonsense, and you're like, no, it's about the customers, and more specifically, why we're talking, it's your flipping customers and that process, being a flipper can be risky, right? So having somebody they trust is vital.
Yeah, it requires a lot of trust, and it takes time to build that trust over a course of several different properties before people relax a little bit and we'll believe you and take your word as gold.
Well, let's sort of unpack that a little bit because I know personally several of the people that you work with and know that you touch the transaction a lot. So why don't we just sort of highlight the service you provide to flippers? Because I know it's more than, hey, the product's done, let me go put it in the MLS, take some ppictures, and I'm done, right? You're involved, as I understand it, all the way back up in the beginning where they're even evaluating deals. You're going out, looking at it, going, this is a good flip or this one's not, or you're trying to give them information that could potentially stop a commission. You could say, no, that's horrible, big power lines or whatever. Don't do it, right? You're involved early.
Oh, yeah. The vast majority of the time, whether I find the property first or the client finds it first, we go out, we evaluate it, run our comparables, make sure that it's a safe purchase, given the amount of work that it's going to require to get it up to par.
Yeah, because they're signing up for, I don't know, 60 days of holding time or 45 to 60 days. And that's a long time to tie up capital and time and also the opportunity cost of a missed transaction. So that upfront time is critical, right?
Oh, most definitely. It's just not the holding cost of, your water, your power, gardener, the work that's going on, but there's also vacant homes, could are targets for some unsavory folks also.
Yes, this is very, very true. So I'm curious, of the properties that you help them evaluate, are you saying no more often than yes, or yes more often than no? I mean, how many times do you get asked to the dance and you're like, nope, that's not the one? Just rough ratio.
Very, very few that they bring to me to evaluate for them that's a no. Okay. There's multiple properties that I'm finding on a regular basis that seem like they would be good, but by the time we go out and take a look at them, evaluate the numbers, it's a no before we even have an offer on it. So we probably have more no's prior to the offers. And once there's an offer on it or the property's locked up, the vast majority of them are yeses. I would say a good 95-ish, maybe more %.
Okay. That makes sense.
So we never get to the point where we're saying no once it's locked up.
That makes sense. Yeah, it would only be inspections or something weird that you couldn't see from your inspections or comps or something. That makes total sense. So you're saying no even before. You're like way above the funnel before it comes into the offer stage. That makes
We
sense.
don't, if they're a no, we won't even bring it to them.
Got it. Okay. All right. And then I've seen some of the stuff that you help sell, but we'll speak for the audience here. When you look at what's being sold, the last year or so, where do you put that inventory sort of? If you look at the median at say 250 for round numbers, how much of that's above the median? How much of that's below the median for the stuff that your investors are selling via you?
I think with the way the market's going right now, we're trying to keep the resales right about the 250 marker or less. Typically, unless there's a screaming deal on an upper end property. But I think that 250 or below is kind of a sweet spot for most of the flippers right now with the way the market is.
Yeah, it's funny. Anything that's above the median, and certainly 50% above the median, is dangerous right now.
Oh yeah, and it's good. It's quite a bit longer of a holding time on those, and with it being a bigger home, more expensive home, the holding costs could get out of hand really quick.
Well, that and you have all the new inventory coming online. You would hate to have a 10-year-old home competing with a brand new construction, right, near the same price point.
Exactly, in the same price range.
That's not a good trade-off usually.
Yeah.
Very cool. So I'm curious, what is when you're looking at the stuff that you're selling now, let's say below the median, what are the must-haves, right? What are buyers looking for? Is it the brand new kitchen, the new baths? What are people going, God, I love this house, I got to have it? What are you seeing?
Most of the buyers are kitchens.
Yeah.
I want to say kitchens, open floor plans,
okay.
Nice master bathrooms, master bedrooms, walk-in closets.
Okay.
It's usually the ladies that make the decisions, and those are the items that the ladies are looking for.
Okay.
So it's pleasing the gals first.
Okay. And I think I know the answer to this, but I'll ask anyway. Most of your sales or purchases that you're helping these flippers sell, that's to owner occupants, right?
Yes. The vast majority of owner occupants. The houses are far too nice for an investor to buy as a rental house.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense. Yeah. And then are in today's market, I don't know this answer, you may not even know because you're the selling agent or the listing agent, excuse me. Do you even know what they're coming in down payment wise? Are these the traditional 3% FHA buyers, or are they doing 10%, or do you just, maybe you don't know?
Well, they're all over the place. It depends on the neighborhood, depends on the home. Some neighborhoods are predominantly FHA, first-time buyers.
Okay.
So they're coming in bare bone minimum, 3% down.
Yeah.
You go into a little bit of a nicer neighborhood, then obviously they'll start going into conventional, a little more expensive neighborhood, not necessarily nicer, but more expensive a neighborhood. It ends up coming conventional with a 10, 20% down.
Okay.
We've even they're all cash buyers.
Really? Okay.
Just looking to move in. But it's hit and miss. It depends on what type of neighborhood and where the price range is, depending on the buyer.
Okay.
But with the flips, you have that 90-day rule with FHA too.
Yeah.
So if we're under 90 days, we can't touch FHA until that 90-day hits.
Yeah, the 91st day. Yeah, really.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. And then when you look at Fresno and you're looking where the the transaction occurring for the flips, is it downtown kind of 93701? Is it the old Tower District 93728, or is there kind of a sweet spot where the flippers are focused, or they go all over?
It's where the deal's at is where they're willing to go. I mean, we go down South Valley, we've gone up to Madera, all over Fresno, every single zip code I think we've pretty much touched bases on. The vast majority of ours are in Tower District and Fresno High area.
Fresno High.
Vast majority of it.
Fresno High, remind me the zip code of Fresno High?
93704.
Oh, 4. Yeah. Okay.
Maybe a little bit of 05, and then you have the 93728 right there, the Tower District. Yeah. And it has kind of crosses with the Fresno High area.
Okay, very cool. And then so let's unpack this. Let's go back to the seller's market of 01 through 08. So go ahead, get in your mental clock and rewind. Was it very different then, that 8-year period, than say the last 6-year period? Can you compare and contrast those at all?
From 01 to 08, it was probably a little crazier.
Yeah.
A lot more multiple offers. Prices seem to skyrocket, climb a lot faster.
Yeah.
Over our last 6 years. It was a steady climb, but it wasn't as nutty or crazy. We were getting multiple offers on most of the properties, but it wasn't as much of a panic buy
Yeah.
in the last 6 years as it was 10 years back.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I mean, as a buyer during that time and this time, I think you're right, because there was a time where Fresno was the number one market in all of the U.S. for appreciation, and I want to say it was like 31% or just something insane back in like '06 or '04 or something. It's just nutty. Yeah, I think that's a good characterization. The last time,
I think we pretty much priced ourselves back then out of the average buyer in town.
Oh, it was unrealistic. Yeah,
it was just crazy.
Yeah, and we're starting to butt up against that now, but we got there far more gradually this time around, and interest rates are hurting us this time because when those rise and payments and prices go up, it is the mortgage payment that hurts most of these people.
Yeah, it was a gradual upswing this time. I think it's a safer, probably more healthy upswing this time.
Yeah, that and the financing. You don't have the last 2 years, right? '06 to '08 was just all liar loans and 2 and 28 teaser loans and just unhealthy financing. And I guess it's fair to say we're not there now, and I don't see that on the horizon this time around.
No, I don't foresee it being, anything like an '08, '09, coming up anytime in our near future.
Yeah, people have 30-year fixed loans, and it's just a different. Yeah. That's very cool. So, your clientele back that time frame was still 90% owner occupants and only a sliver of investors, or how has that changed? How's your clientele changed last time to this time?
No, from the '01 to 2008 ish was probably 90% owner occupy. I want to say from after the crash in '09 until just recent, the vast majority of my buyers are investors.
That makes sense. Huh?
So, when the market was at its all-time low, the investor buying was just, it was just a great business.
Yeah, we were everywhere. And the good news is about the investors buying then is we bought lots of stuff.
Yes.
There wasn't many of us, but the ones that were active were buying lots of things. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a good time to have some spare change laying around to invest.
Yeah, because you couldn't get a bank loan to save your life. At least I couldn't.
Exactly, especially if you had multiple rental houses with financing.
They turned
the banks are capping you guys.
Yeah, they're out. You're the bad guys. You're evil.
Yeah, exactly. You've got enough homes. You're done.
You're done. That's crazy. Very cool. So, so I want to unpack this sort of this realtor experience the last couple of decades. Is it just that simple, right? As we're on the upswing, it turns into more owner occupants, and then on the downswing, owner occupants disappear and investors come in. And how do you change, right? Because the owner occupant buyer is different than an investor buyer. So I guess I don't know if your services change, but your sort of interactions have to change, I would guess.
You know what? For the most part, I went through the upswing through the downside market during the foreclosure boom. And then through this upswing now, and my primary service to my clients were the same because I had the same clients. So I was working with the investors on the downside. I've been working with them. They've actually, a lot of them turned from buying holds to buy, fix up, and flips. So it's their end game has changed. My clients haven't. So for the most part, it's still the same business. It's just instead of looking for the down and dirty cheap houses, we're looking for down and dirty cheap houses with a very nice upswing.
Yeah. So a problem we could fix.
Exactly. Instead of just sprucing them up, now we're actually fixing them up really nice.
Yeah. There was a time where literally just cleaning out and painting was enough. And it's certainly not that case anymore.
Just make it Section 8able and you're good.
Exactly.
And now it's like, let's make this the beacon of the neighborhood.
Yeah.
So change just a bit on the cleanup side of it.
Yeah, one of the investors who you work with used to call them rental rehabs, and now they're pride of ownership rehabs. So
yeah, exactly.
Much more expensive.
RR and ARV.
Yeah, exactly. Very cool. All right, and then I want to hear, when you're out looking for properties for your clients. I mean, how many hours? I don't know if it's a day or a week or a month, whatever your bucket is. I know you do a lot of work for your investors and your buyers. How much of that, how many hours are you putting in? I don't know, call it a month. Is it 40 hours a month, 100 hours? I have no idea how much, beating the bushes you do.
Searching primarily just for homes only?
Yeah, well, any property would make sense, right? Homes, apartments, duplexes,
I
whatever.
probably put in probably a couple hours in the morning, start
Yeah,
doing some searching, a couple hours in the evening doing some searching, hitting the MLS.
yeah,
It's a lot of networking. We find more things off the market than we do on the market.
yeah,
We don't have the competition. It's just finding that, the property that's a little unloved and beat up with someone who's just needing to get out of it now and
yeah.
doesn't want to hassle with dealing with showings and
Cleaning it up and people
inspections and
tromping
termite
through.
reports and all that other stuff.
Yeah,
2-year roof surge. So it's just, I just want to get rid of it. Can you find me someone with cash that'll
yeah,
take this off my hands within a week or two?
yeah.
And
Again, these things that you say are so subtle. They're not done by most agents. And this is why you have a large investor pool that works with you and has confidence with you, is because you're willing to spend, I'll just call it 4 hours a day, right? 2 in the morning, 2 in the evening, but then also networking, because you're right. It is the off market deals where you're going to find the majority of the plum opportunities, right? Because everybody has access to MLS. You're not unique in that regards. But when you can network, build your buyer's pool or your transactions, you've got, whatever it was, 19 years experience in the market. Lots of people know you. So that's, kudos to you, I guess is what I'm saying.
well, I have Fresno agents that'll even call me when they're about to list a property that's in need of some love.
Right.
And they, don't want to deal with it any more than their buyers do. And they'll call me.
Well,
And
yeah.
so, okay, we'll have an offer to you within the next 2 hours. Just let me go drive by it real fast.
Yeah, because what they're really telling you is if I put this in the MLS, I'm going to have to list it at the price. It's going to be so low. I'm going to get 17 offers and 16 people that don't know anything about it. And I don't want to deal with it.
Yeah,
Just give me a
I got to take
buyer.
pictures of this, and no pictures are going to look pretty. How do I write marketing comments that make it sound pretty when it's not? It's
I
just
just want to sell it.
Yes, I just want it to go away.
Yeah, exactly.
Make it go away fast, please.
Yeah, yeah. See, again, those are the things, and that's why you're the go-to person in Fresno for a lot of the investors and flippers I know. Is because of that upfront service. Anybody can do the back end, mostly anybody. But the investors or the realtors such as yourself investing upfront, they get that side. And then every investor I know always rewards the people that bring them the deal. Hence, they come to you and say, Chris, okay, I'm ready. Let's go. It's yours.
It's a nice turnaround. And a lot of times you get both ends. You get the buying side, and then you turn around and do the selling side. So it's kind of nice being able to get the buying side when it's ugly, get the selling side when it's pretty, and then you have a little feeling of achievement there when you can see that finished product going off with its new owner and they're loving it.
I can't imagine
unloved property prior to.
Yeah, I can't imagine what you've seen. Some of the remodels. You did that to this thing. Yeah, so some of your flippers are pretty amazing. And
they've all become family now over the course of these years. So it's awesome working with them.
Yeah.
And and I'm there with them every step of the way. So while their house is in progress, I'm there running Home Depot trips with them, or last minute, a little repair request at the end of escrow. It's for me to grab my tools, throw them in the back of the truck, and I go over and I take care of it for them. Let's just knock this out and get it done with. So it's all part of the experience and all part of the relationships that we have.
That's because you make those investments and you could be counted on. It's why you're so successful. So given your experience, I'd be remiss if I didn't talk about 2019. Do you have your own magic crystal ball and sort of see what's happening now and what 2019 might look like?
I think 2019 is going to be a little slower. Okay. But I don't see, maybe the prices they're going to maybe trickle down just a bit, but I'm not seeing any huge changes. I still see it as a steady, good market. It's always a great, real estate market, whether it's up or down. Yeah. There's always great opportunities to buy and sell. But I don't really see it much of a change. Maybe just a little downtick in pricing, a little bit more market time. I mean, we might get to a normal market, which a whole lot of real estate agents haven't seen.
Yeah.
We might actually get to 90 days on markets coming up soon, which have been unheard of the last 6 years.
Yeah. Yeah. So here's my guess is because I think anytime you talk about averages, you can get skewed by the tails. So I actually think anything above the median, and again, 150% of the market is going to fall off a cliff. Like 20%, because there's just so much of that stuff and so few buyers. The affordability just says there's a problem. And then when that happens, the negative press is going to cycle out of control and say, the world's falling apart, the world's falling apart, which is going to cause more buyers not to do anything, which is going to cause this cycle to repeat. But the beauty is what you said up front. If you're protected at the median or below, it's going to be a great time because they're not making anymore, right? They're not making anything traditional unless it's a condo or some other configuration below the median. So if you can go in and find the deals sub 200, add 40, 50K, sell for, mid 200s, I think you're going to be really, really safe.
The prices dip. You're buying them a little cheaper on the turnaround. When you resell them, you're selling them a little bit cheaper, but the profit's still there for the investor regardless. So it's not going to change. It's just our focus is going to have to turn just a little bit on just being a little bit more picky on the pricing on the back end and work backwards through our numbers.
Yeah, you got the people on the buy side now are going to turn the dial just a little bit on, instead of buying it 10% below, we want 5% or whatever. They're going to tweak their numbers.
Maybe project for a little bit of a softer resell.
Yeah, so longer time frame.
Yes.
Hold times will grow.
A little on the softer side.
Yeah, very cool. So I couldn't agree more. I think that's what's going to happen. Do you have opinion about the high-speed rail? Because as somebody who lives 2.5 hours away and owns a bunch of property in Fresno, I think Fresno will eventually be a spot where a lot of Silicon Valley people live. Do you see it the same way, or is it just is it not going to happen, or what do you think?
I think it's going to do nothing but benefit Fresno.
Yeah.
If it ever gets finished, I think it's going to do nothing but benefit Fresno. It brings us closer to those bigger cities. Yeah. Could make us a bedroom community. Could end up raising home values here when it's completed.
Yeah, I think you're softballing it. So again, big asterisks. If the thing finishes.
Yes.
Let's just say that. But if it does.
If it finishes. Yes.
Yeah, win or if, yeah. Fresno will be 45-minute, ride to the Bay Area on a train that has Wi-Fi, I'm sure. And you will become a bedroom community and prices are going to go through the roof. Now, is that 10 years out?
Into a San Jose, probably.
Oh, yeah. Gilroy?
Yeah, whatever. San Jose.
Yeah, and I've lived in the heart of the valley for a while, and I saw the valley get to San Jose, and then San Jose to Morgan Hill, and then Morgan Hill to Gilroy. And if Fresno will double, once people start seeing the train. Once it gets over the pass, it's a done deal. Fresno's going to turn around.
We're still an ag community, so we have room to grow.
Oh, no question. Lots of land.
We're not completely locked in like the Bay Area is.
Yeah, exactly. All right, Chris, this has been very helpful. I'm glad we got sort of the talk. We talked about 2019, what it takes to be a good realtor to flippers in the area. I want to leave the end of this call for you to say whatever you'd like, give your contact information, ask for business, whatever you want. This closing segment is for you to advertise yourself.
Awesome. Hey, if anyone has any questions about investment property, want to buy, want to sell, feel free to give me a call. Best way to reach me is on my cell phone number, 559-824-9452.
Excellent, Chris. And anybody listening, I'd recommend giving Chris a call. He's a wealth of knowledge, and people that I know and respect rely on his skill and expertise. So you will not be you will not be negatively surprised. You'll be well taken care of.
Awesome. Thank you, Mike.
All right. Thank you.